When I think of domestic violence, I think of one of the worst things that could ever happen to a woman, a child, or any human being, because it does happen to the male community as well, even though it might not be as out in the open as it is for women. I could just think of pain, suffering, and all the negative aspects that brings overall to someone's life, and anything that we could do as women, as a community, society in general, to help people who go through this get better, I think would definitely be appreciated and has to be taking place to end this.
Bueno, violencia doméstica para mí quiere decir abuso físico, como abuso verbal, como abuso, varias maneras de abuso. Simplemente no tiene que ser un abuso físico. Puede ser una mirada, puede ser lo que sale de la boca de uno, varias maneras. Para mí hay muchas perspectivas para la violencia doméstica.
Domestic violence to me means any kind of violence at home. It doesn't have to be, family related. It can be, between two roommates. It can be, a romantic relationship, between two partners, and it can happen to anyone, anywhere.
Personally, I just think domestic violence is a very disturbing thing. I think it's horrible. I'm not one who believes in it. I don't partake in it. I'm not one to yell at a woman or force her to do something that I feel needs to be done. I think it's cowardly to pick on someone, usually a bigger male picking on a woman who is smaller, and it's just idiotic, ridiculous, and I hate it.
Okay.
La violencia doméstica es algo que pasa mucho en todas partes del mundo. Yo creo que la violencia verbal es más fuerte que la física, porque la violencia verbal es algo que se queda contigo internamente, psicológicamente, y es algo que dura por muchos años y es algo que queremos prevenir en el futuro, y esperamos que esta obra de teatro traiga ese mensaje para todas las personas que eviten el abuso mental, físico y verbal.
Many ways to be violent with somebody, and it's something that should be stopped. And especially where I come from, like, I'm Mexican, and like I don't want to say it's a part of my culture, but a lot of men are abusive to women and they think it's right, and I'm so glad like people are doing this type of campaigns, and I believe in theater, and that's why I'm like an actress, and that's why I do theater, and I believe it's a great way to communicate to people.
Domestic violence is like a disease. Some people, they think that if a person is violent, you can change that person, but the person has to change himself, him or herself. So it's very good, like a very bad problem in the society, especially if you have like children involved. It can break a marriage. So if someone is violent and then you're trying to save your marriage, it's not gonna last.
The abuse, not only physical abuse, verbal abuse, any type of way of degrading someone, making them feel inferior, making them feel like they're not valuable, or that they're here for reasons to make them feel more vulnerable. It messes with your mind, it messes with your body, it messes with your whole being, and that alone is the definition of domestic violence. It's not only
abuso doméstico. El abuso doméstico es, para mí, y está relacionado con el machismo. ¿Qué te puedo decir? Creo que la misma palabra explica todo lo que quiere decir.
Fear, it's poisonous. I mean, especially if there are children involved, and for the woman, I guess it could happen both ways. There are men that can also be abused by a woman, but I also believe it's not just physical, it's psychological, where a person no longer feels they could fully be themselves, express themselves. It's almost like being in a prison, and just something that should really be addressed and brought